Hello everybody and welcome back inside the box for another episode of Gunpla Kitbash with me, Kukamatsu. In this episode, mechanical kit bashing of the torso. So, let's jump right in. Alright, the next thing I want to do is some mechanical kit bash here in the torso. My normal approach for mechanical kit bashing is actually to have a core of something and then attach lots of little things to it, maybe one big thing as a central thing and then other things around it, and sort of make it make sense. I want to try something a little bit different with this kit. If anybody has made the Master Grade Barbatos kit, you'll know that it has a great inner frame with lots of pistons and stuff like that. I actually have one right here. It's got pistons all over the place and I really love it as an inner frame. And I was thinking about using this somehow, in particular the arm, because the elbow has this piston on it here. I would like to find some way to kind of get that in there. So let me just tear this apart a little bit. So what I'm thinking of doing is cutting some space out of there, maybe take out this red piece off, and then tuck that mechanism up in there is kind of what I'm thinking. The challenge is the cool part of the mechanism is on the elbow. Just because of the shape of the torso, it would be probably good to have the bend go the other way. So I'm going to have to play with this a little bit to see if there's a way to get it to bend the other way. So it comes down here and goes like that, bending the elbow backwards essentially. Maybe if I can split it open a little bit. See, what's happening here is as it comes back, this stuff ends up hitting in there. So what I'm kind of thinking of is making it a little wider. Maybe it'll clear that. So just pull it off here and see. Yeah, see, if you just get it out a little bit, then it'll clear everything. It'll be the same on the other side. And then this piece, maybe it can sit in there somehow, so then it ends up looking like that. That would be kind of cool. Then you have that nice negative space there with the piston going across. I mean, I have no idea if I'm going to be able to make enough space in there without disrupting everything, but it's worth a try. Let's take some of this part, get a sense of what we're going to be dealing with here. Interesting. It's been a while since I made this kit, so I didn't remember that it did that. It's got a whole rotation thing going there. Let me pull off some of these panels to get a little bit better look at the inner frame. Well, I'm kind of at the stage now where I won't know if it'll work until I start cutting it open. So that's what I'm going to start to do and just hope that I can figure it out. I think it's going to fit in that area, but I will be conservative as I go and try not to cut too much and see how that fits. Seems like as long as I stay between that line and that line, I should be okay. There's structure there. I won't go too high, so there's support for the arm mechanism. I won't go too far forward, so I still have all the connections for the front plates. Just a matter of clearing out this whole middle section and then seeing if there's enough structure for it to still hold together or if I have to build something to support it. Well, the thing that's getting in the way is this here, and I'm just wondering if I even need it. This is what I would connect to the waist unit, but maybe if I cut this off flat, there'll be something to attach to. Well, there's only one way to find out. There we go, that's fitting in there pretty nicely now. I think what we'll probably do, and I mentioned this in the first video, is I'm going to lengthen this torso a little bit. I'm going to pull this piece down just to give a little more space for that mechanism in there. I want it to show a little bit, so I do want to have it sort of sticking out like this and then cut off at the appropriate place. Probably the next step is to figure out how to extend that down. So what I'm thinking is I cut there and just put a couple of spacers in and then glue it back on. Then I can just mount these back to that and then fill in whatever spaces I need to. Maybe it's a kit bash thing, or maybe it's just filling in the spaces with styrene. I'll just start by gluing a piece in there that's too long on both sides and then chop them off and glue that to it. Oh, that was close. Almost glued those two parts together, which I don't want to do. So I want to move it down to about there. That's about 6 millimeters, I would say, something like that. Maybe that's 7 millimeters. Okay, so I'll just give it a couple extra millimeters so that I've got something to glue. And I basically want to glue that on there, like that. Then try and figure out how to fill that space back up afterwards. Good. I think that's going to be pretty stable. The other thing I need to consider is, since I plan to do work on these orange parts as well, I need to make sure this whole thing can still come apart after I do this. I can't just glue it all together. So I'm glad I caught that I was getting glue on those two parts there, because it would have been trouble otherwise. So there we go. It's looking pretty good. Might be something like that. And then I can just chop it across there. Ultimately, I'm going to have to attach it to this waist unit, the one from the Infinite Justice. So I was thinking that it would probably be a good idea to make some kind of plate down here at the bottom to help mount this, and then make sure it fits onto there. So what I'll do first is just make a plate that fits in that space, and then we'll see how I can attach it to there. I think that's the basic idea. Now I just need to figure out how to cut these bottom pieces kind of straight across and then mount them. Well, I guess I'm just going to have to eyeball this a little bit. Well, that's the rough idea. Now I think I just need to stabilize some of this stuff, otherwise it's going to be continually frustrating to try and keep it lined up and held together. So I'm just going to glue a little piece of round styrene tube on that piece, so then it'll fit in the other side of that hole. Ah, so much better. There we go. It'll fit together something like that. Well, I think that's working now. I just want to fix up this middle section a little bit. It's just a matter of gluing a couple of pieces in there. Well, that actually went a little bit smoother than I was expecting. It's fitting quite nicely, actually. I think I definitely need to put something in here to fill that space. And just thinking of these guys. These I took off the sides originally, and I'm wondering if I cut it and kind of put it in there, if I can just fill that space with it. So I'm going to try that. I was thinking of it as a mechanical section, but maybe as a panel it works. Actually, that's pretty cool. Even though that's not in my original design work, I always want to remain open to finding things like that I didn't plan for, couldn't anticipate. So I think that's pretty cool. And that is the end of the episode. In the next episode, we'll start reshaping the chest plates. So if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you give me a like down below. Check out the playlist for previous videos. Subscribe if you want to follow along, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.